It's Abe Cannon, and I'm so excited to be joined by the metal god, Rob Halford from Judas Priest. Rob, it's such an honor to talk to you.
Hello, Abe. Hi, everybody. Good to speak with you today.
When you were a kid growing up, Rob, did you ever think you'd be referred to as the metal god?
There wasn't even any metal around when I was growing up, you know? That's what's so amazing and blessing about this whole experience with Judas Priest, making heavy metal for over 50 years and counting. It's remarkable. But I tell you something. Um, I was thinking about this the other day. The fact that I grew up at a time where rock and roll was just being invented, and we're going way back now, way back to the roots of rock and roll. And growing up in the UK, as I hit my teen years, the 60s started to happen. Two of the greatest bands in the world, the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, and then everybody else that was coming across from America. So I grew up with that. I've always had music in my life for as long as I can remember. So to go through those decades of transition from the early roots of rock and roll to the early roots of heavy metal, we started in the late 60s. Yeah, it's just incredible. And then on and on and on, we get to the British Steel album and the Metal Gods album, and then the fans start calling me the Metal God. So,
Yeah.
it's the way life works.
To prove that you are the metal god, I don't know how you did this. You took War Pigs and you somehow made it heavier, which was it's impossible to do. You did something that's impossible because to take War Pigs, and when I heard it, it's such a badass version of War Pigs. I don't know how you did it, but you made it a heavier song.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful, isn't it, Abe? You know, when we first came up with this idea of making what we call the Judas Priest heavy metal style of War Pigs, we knew we had to tread carefully because it's such a beloved song for Sabbath fans, Ozzy fans all over the world. So we wanted to make sure that we didn't go too far away from the original classic concept idea. So the band worked really hard to emulate what Tony and Bill and Geezer and Ozzy did together, but at the same time give it our own identity. Um, Scott Scott did his best to pay homage to Bill's style of drumming. The same with Ian on bass for Geezer. Uh, Richie did a fantastic job with his guitars, as did Glenn. And it's really weird, because my voice in that song is in the same kind of tonal range as Ozzy, which makes it work even better. You know, it really feels like it was destined to be. But yeah, it was a privilege and an honor to be able to add our contribution to that amazing day at the Aston Villa football ground.
So, how did you guys record this? When did you actually have Ozzy record his part?
He did his parts after we sent all the tracks and files over to Sharon, and then all the metal magic happened, and it was great because he heard the final part before the idea of bringing his Ozzy in onto the track came about, and it was Sharon's idea. It was a great idea. She said, "Would is there any way we can get Ozzy on here?" And we thought this is just going to be insane if we can get Ozzy to be in the track as well, because then the idea of making a charity single came into being. All the contributions are going to Cure Parkinson's, which was Ozzy's big foundation, and then of course Glenn Tipton's foundation. So the fact that they both approved it, especially Ozzy, who allegedly was just sitting there smiling, happy that he's kind of Birmingham brothers because we were both born and raised in the same
Yeah.
neighborhood. We had a chance to do something together. And for me as a singer, it was especially powerful and moving to be able to sing alongside Ozzy on that track.
And Ozzy sounded amazing. Like at the Back to the Beginning show, he sounded so good just weeks before he passed away. And on this War Pigs, it sounds almost like the original recording. That's how great Ozzy still sounds, or sounded, I should say.
That's the way that magical things can happen in music today. It is Ozzy. It's obviously very much Ozzy live performing, and we were just happy that we could make this whole thing go up to another level. It was already doing great things as it was with the Priest interpretation, but to have Ozzy connected to it just made it even more spectacular. Yeah,
You know,
unique.
Rob, how do you still sound so great? Because like when you hear Painkiller, I don't know how you do Painkiller at this point, and it sounds awesome. Like how are you? What do you do that keeps your voice the way it is? Because a lot of people who have been around half as long as you have, their voice is blown out at this point.
It's just I give it to like two or three things. Firstly, when I stopped drinking and drugging 40 years ago, next January, that was a massive decision to make sure that I was still have the pipes working for future endeavors. And I noticed instantly that, all the power in my voice was even more secure, and my performances became again a lot purer. There was just a definite improvement in my whole being as a person, which transferred into the way I sing. So there was that, and then of course these incredible inventions, the in-ear monitors, which were relatively new. Um, when I got hooked up with those, that made it easier because a lot of singers blow their voice on stage because they're trying to hear themselves, above all the noise that the band is making, especially if you're having front wedge monitors. So it's a little bit technical, a little bit tricky, but a lot of it is common sense. So it's that. It's a combination of staying clean and sober and also having the opportunity to use these amazing things that you stick in your head every night. And technique. Technique. You see, when you watch Richie playing the lead break in Painkiller, he makes it look easy, but it's not. It's very, very hard because Glenn originally came up with that lead break and Richie had to interpret it in his own way. So, uh, yeah, it's for me singing in a particular song, and as crazy as it sounds, it's a pretty easy song for me to sing because I know exactly where I need to go. I know exactly the technique that I have to put into my voice to get the performance, and then it's very much a wing and a prayer because we're towards the end of the show.
Yeah.
Have I got enough steam left have I got enough metal left to get through this killer track that everybody goes nuts for? When Scott plays the intro, the roof goes off. So um, yeah, it's a combination of all those things, and I'm just happy and blessed to be able to still do it at this time of life with Judas Priest.
Are you feeling this metal resurgence, this hard rock resurgence? Because you go to the Aftershock Festival this past year, the biggest crowd of all time, Louder Than Life, the biggest crowd of all time, and I'm feeling it. Like there's all these bands. Like I just interviewed Youngblood the other day. Like there's a lot of young upcoming rock artists, a lot of young metal bands, a lot of hard rock bands, and the appetite from the audience. I feel like it's there more than in the last 20 years.
I think that just shows you how great the trail is that we're leaving for new musicians, new talent to um, explore, reinvent, investigate, bring their own chops to the table. Um, and I think it's a beautiful thing. You mentioned Youngblood, who I think is an extraordinary talent. He's just incrementally ever since he performed Changes the Aussie event incrementally. He's been working very hard as a solo artist for a while, but suddenly
Yeah.
he's caught the flames, so to speak. So, but all of those other bands that you mentioned that are banging away on stage, we all have a torch that's passed to us from somewhere else. Musicians thrive on each other, on each other's music, whether it's CD, from the cloud, whatever.
Yeah.
Seeing a band live, it's a mixture. It's a mixture of things that really keep this kind of uh, this, if you want to call it a resurgence, it probably is to some extent because it goes in cycles. But what a great moment to see all of this new talent utilizing all of the great work that's been laid down and making their own mark and their own definition. It's wonderful.
And you mentioned CDs. People are buying vinyl again, and just there's certain things like for me, like on my radio show, I give away boom boxes, right? People
Okay, that's cool.
they love the boombox, right? So wait, hang on, let
Yes,
me show you this boombox, Rob. So like every week I give away every week I give away these boomboxes,
that's
right?
amazing, man.
And
That's
and,
really
and,
cool.
and they
That's really
love it.
cool.
They love it. And you know, I want to bring back midnight album release parties. If you remember
Yes,
those album release parties, it was a
yes.
party. Like people like the next Judas Priest album that comes out, Rob, I want to do a Judas Priest album release party, a midnight release. So please, when you put out your next album, I have to do the midnight release party.
That's great, Abe. That's just so wonderful and cool. When I saw that boombox, it brought back so many memories because I used to carry them on the road, and of course my boombox was 4 times the size as that because it had to be
Yeah.
metal. They used to
Yeah.
make some monsters, didn't they? They used to make some monster boomboxes that would take any kind of thing you rammed in them, even to the point where you could get CD player boomboxes combined with a cassette player. Um, Great, that's wonderful that you're doing that. Props to
But
you.
but I feel like like kids, once you get these kids to invest in the physical media, they're all about it. They want to do the same things we did growing up, reading the lyrics, looking at the art. You can't do that with digital. So I'm really happy that vinyl is really starting to sell, at least of the last 10 years or so.
Absolutely. We've been involved in this again, this push for vinyl that's been going on for some time now. More than anything, I think young fans, particularly, they, they want the physical to physically hold something. They want to possess. It's like when you go and see your favorite ball game, a basketball, football, whatever. You want the jersey. You want to take something home. You treasure it. It's a memory, and so it is with music. So, yeah, we just did something really recently for the UK Record Day. We released a beautiful Painkiller album with like a blue and white marble vinyl in it, and so we're all behind that. We've been re-releasing Priest vinyl for the whole catalogue for as long as I can remember. So, absolutely, vinyl is a really cool an important part of who we are and what we do.
When was the last time you watched Heavy Metal Parking Lot?
It's been a while. It's been a while. I was approached actually recently by the people that put that together, and they're doing something very special that I'm just been made aware of. I just love it. It's a microcosm. Every show has a tailgate party. Every single show. When we drive into the venue, we do a lot of amphitheaters. We did the Kia Forum last night, and there were still people outside, having fun and blasting Priest and Alice and everybody,
Yeah.
COC. Um, so yeah, that's part again of the special things that happen at all of these shows.
That's the kind of stuff I want to bring back. Like we need to embrace that. That's the fun. That's the party before the show. If you haven't seen Heavy Metal Parking Lot, the whole thing's on YouTube. Just go watch it. It's just so funny watching these people from all those years ago in the parking lot partying before a Judas Priest show. So
And
awesome.
it's Yeah, and it's still the same now. It's still the same now. You know. Um, Yeah, the heavy metal parking lot has been going on since the original heavy metal parking lot. Some 40 years later, people are still jamming away and making a great night because it's an event more than anything. Man, more than ever do we need music to get us through these times that we're going through, to party, to hang out with each other, to catch up with each other. I call us the heavy metal community. There's a tremendous amount of unconditional love. We're always making sure everybody's well, texting each other, keeping the vibe connected. So that heavy metal parking lot is part of that whole metal community experience.
You're touring right now with Corrosion and Conformity and Ellis Cooper. Have you and Ellis walked around somewhere and people have got on their knees and did the "We're not worthy"? I mean, people are going
No,
to say that to you, but has it happened to you? Because Ellis
no.
Cooper said it happens to him at least 3 times a day, where they
Yeah,
get on their knees and say, "We're not worthy."
yeah, it happens at every meet and greet. We were talking about that. We had dinner the other day in Los Angeles. We were just exchanging rock and roll stories. We should have recorded that because the stories were just off the hook. But he said that's just part of the tenure that Wayne's World has left with him. But he's a remarkable man and very dangerous. I mistakenly went into his dressing room the other day and he was throwing knives around the room. I mean, real knives, wood panels, and and because he was morphing into Alice Cooper. He's a different
Yeah.
man. He's a genuine. He's scary as shit. I went, "Oops, sorry," and he glared at me, and I left the room. Um, but he's a remarkable man, and yeah, I feel not worthy in his presence. When you think of what that man has done and achieved in music, it's just crazy. You know, he's a true icon, a true legend in rock and roll.
He's also a great golfer too.
Yeah, yeah, he is. He plays every day on the road before he gets up at the crack of dawn and goes and plays golf, and then he does a show. You know, well, I'm still trying to get, a night's sleep. He's
Yeah.
up and out. He's out somewhere hitting balls. You know, he loves that sport. For the sport and the talent that you need to play that game well, and for the fun of it. And he plays golf all around the world, wherever he's got a show. He's probably playing golf right now as you and I are talking.
And
In
Rob,
Phoenix.
you and Judas Priest are always doing so many great things. You guys just gave $100,000. You mentioned that Los Angeles show. You gave $100,000 to the fire department, the Los Angeles Fire Department.
Yes, yes. We were at the Grammys just a few days after they kind of got control over everything, and there was a big debate whether the Grammys should carry on. And of course, much like we said in the big picture of rock and roll and music, music heals people. Music is a release. Music is an escape. And so they were able to do that. And when we were on the red carpet, everybody was saying, "Is are Judas Priest gonna do anything with regards to the fire?" And we said, "Yeah, we will. Let us think about it, because LA has been wonderful to this band and to so many other people in the music industry that uh, we wanted to do something, So." At the Kia Forum just a couple of days ago, we donated $100,000 to the Los Angeles Fire Department, who are going to use it to do whatever they want. Really, there's so many places everybody can still go to. It's so easy to go to any of the number of websites for the Los Angeles Fire and pick where you want to make a donation. Whatever you got, or even just check it out, see the love that's happening. And the rebuilding process is going to take forever. And so we thought, because the LAPD were on the front lines along with the other services people there, those guys just, man, what they did, what they did to try and protect as many homes as possible and lives as many as possible is just huge. So that they were the first people that came into my mind, and they're going to use all this money in a great way. They're going to keep feeding us back as to where they're going to utilize it. But yeah, we love LA, and because of all the great things that Los Angeles has done for Priest and for rock and roll and metal, we wanted to say, here you are, guys. Thank you for what you do.
And the metal community, they're the most wonderful people. Like a guy like you lived two lives for the whole, I don't know how many years of Judas Priest. You couldn't be who you are. I know you were afraid, but at that time, because you didn't know if they would accept you in that community. But it turns out they're the most wonderful community in all of music.
Yeah, it's always, I've always found it amusing that people that on the outside that don't have a clue about metal, that they look at us as a very kind of you know I'm trying to think of the right word, but when people don't understand anything, they put a wall up, they become fearful, and that's nuts. If you don't understand anything and it makes you feel a little bit, like wary or concerned, find out why you feel that way, investigate the reason why you feel that way, and you'll see that, as you said, Abe, rightly so, we're a very beautiful, loving, generous bunch of people that love our metal, and we have an extraordinary way of showing how we do that with these massive concerts that are very loud and very aggressive and very full of power, but all in the good, constructive sense. It's all very positive type of experiences. So, on that level, we are unconditional. It doesn't matter who you love. It doesn't matter what you believe in or don't believe in. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter if you got money or you don't have money. Whatever. All the social strata just breaks away. It's not important. It's irrelevant. All that matters to us is being with each other, looking out for each other, and seeing each other at metal shows.
It was you, Ozzy, and Lemmy, and you're the last one holding the torch. So, Rob, please don't retire. Don't do a just please just do Judas Priest for the next 40, 50 years. And please don't do a retirement. We need you, Rob. We need you in metal. We need you in hard rock.
Thank you, Abe. Those are beautiful words. And in my heart, I can't see me ever stopping. It's vital to me. You know, I have to do this. I have to do this work, this metal work. It sustains me. It keeps me motivated. Um, and all great things are happening now more than ever before. So who would want to stop that? You know, it's just a fantastic place to be. Priest is still raging and roaring from our last album, Invincible Shield. We've just done the Shield of Pain tour, which has been celebrating Painkiller, one of the most beloved albums in metal. Next year, it's the 50th anniversary of Sad Wings of Destiny. It's the 40th anniversary of Turbo. So there's always something lurking in the metal wings, you know, for this band to kind of go back into and dig out and bring back to the stage again.
And War Pigs, it's out now. Like I said, you put a fresh coat of paint on this song that I didn't think there was any way that I like. If someone covered War Pigs, I'm like, I don't want to hear it. When I heard War Pigs, I'm like, whoa! I'm telling you, it's such. I don't know how you did it. You made War Pigs heavier, and thank you so much. And the money's for charity, so buy War Pigs. It goes to charity. It's a badass song. So Rob, it was such an honor talking to you. Thank you for everything you've done. So many years, over 50 years of Judas Priest, and I'm excited for. This is what I love about Judas Priest. I'm excited to hear what's next, the new music. You're always making new music. So to me, that's important. Keep moving forward. And I can't wait for the next Judas Priest album. Maybe we'll do a record release party at midnight.
That would be a brilliant move, Abe. That'd be fantastic. Yeah, we'll stay in touch with you, brother. Thanks for everything that you do for rock and roll and metal. We need Abe for making all the connectivity happen. And yeah, stay hard, stay metal, stay defending the faith, brother.
Thank you, Rob. It was awesome talking to you.
Thank you, Abe. All the best, babe. Bye-bye
You're
now.
the man. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Bye.